Now this is a very short video because I just wanted to show some of the things that over this summer I've been able to do with these Anart cameras. Now these cameras were I had gotten one for $15 and one for $25. They're relatively inexpensive. So I never expected them to be as good as they were. And for what I'm doing, putting things on YouTube, they seem like they're perfect. Now here I wanted to show a couple of very quick, inexpensive, in fact they're free, modifications you can use to make these cameras even better. Now this is a stock camera. This is the way it comes. You buy it whatever. And they have them on sale at Amazon from time to time. And if you wait for the sale, they're 25 bucks. If you don't, they're probably 50 bucks or whatever they are. These are the old versions of them. The more modern versions probably are even more expensive, but these old ones work just as good as far as I'm concerned. The first thing I noticed when I got the camera was annoying to me was when you go to hit the button and with a glove on, usually on a motorcycle you're wearing a glove. I don't know anybody that rides barehanded, but maybe there are some people. So these buttons here I don't care about because I'm not going to sit and scroll through things while I'm riding down the road. But what I like to have is this camera mounted somewhere. I reach over with my finger. I want to know that when I've hit the button, I've turned it on. I want to also know that now that it's in the on cycle, I can turn it on and off with the top button. Well, what I did, and if you look real close, this is a nut, a 440 nut. I don't know if this camera focuses in good enough that you can see this. This is a 440 nut. I just with a toothpick put a drop of epoxy. So now this is the way the normal buttons are, and with a glove you can't really get a good feel. You don't even know if you pushed it. Sometimes you push it twice. And many times what I've done is I've turned it off when I want to turn it on, then I turn it on when I want to turn it off. Well, this helped a whole lot. Of course, it's a free modification. Now, even with a glove, I can tell exactly when it's on and off, on and off. Now, another problem these stock cameras have, and Luciano Felici gave me a great tip. In the very beginning, I was having, and I'm going to show this real close. You can do this. And by the way, this lens cap, from time to time, will get like a fog on it on a humid day that all the footage will look white. It goes into its little waterproof case. And you notice something. This even with this cover back and forth, it vibrates. Well, if you take a little, this is balsa wood, a piece of cardboard. In fact, Luciano, I think, took a piece of a zip tie and wedged that in there. And now close the back. It solves one of the vibration problems. Now, all of the vibration problems you have are resonant vibration. So it means on some motorcycles, it's going to be at a lower RPM, and some of them at a higher RPM. You never really cure it 100%. You just move that resonance range around. But even like this, and I thought I'd share this because this is so important. What I did is I realized these cameras, now I don't know about the GoPros and the $300 and $400 ones. Maybe they do not have this problem. They must have more features or whatever. These cameras have an extreme problem of shooting into the sun. However they pick up the sun, they always overexpose footage shot into the sun. So you're riding down a road and you turn toward the sun, and all your footage has these lines going across it. And that happens basically as you're shooting into the sun. If you turn the camera backwards and the same thing, you don't get any of that. Well, what I thought of doing is, in the very beginning, I took some Gorilla Tape and just made like a baseball hat out of this with a piece of cardboard. I did it right out on the road, and it made the problem a lot less pronounced. You still saw some of the lines, but nowhere near as many as a stock camera. So that was a nice little upgrade. Then I said, oh, I'll come home and let me go to the next level here since I have two of these cameras. I took the other camera and I made a couple of choice little modifications that anybody can make. I made it out of carbon fiber since I have this is carbon fiber scrap I have from making motorcycle parts. But this, you could make this out of cardboard. And you could also just put it on with a piece of Gorilla Tape. What it is, it's like a little baseball hat, like a little sunshade, and it cuts down dramatically. I'm still not able to shoot right into the sun, and I'm not sure a GoPro can either. I'm not sure any camera can, but it makes the range of things that you're doing a whole lot better. This is worth a lot to me. Now, I made these buttons just a little bit bigger with washers. I took the original one that had a little nut, and I epoxied on a washer. Well, that was a great choice. Now when I'm riding, and whether the camera is mounted behind me or in front of me, I can feel, with a glove, I can feel that button. And I can feel the button. I used to reach around, I was like, did I hit it? And then I couldn't see that little red light. Now, here's the problem. You turn this camera on, and this happens every time to me. You see your screen come up, and you're riding along, and now you want to see, for instance, well, gee whiz, is the camera on? Well, when these letters are in white, your camera's not on. So you hit the camera, it goes into record mode, but now you can't see the red light. It's hard to see. You don't really see this up there. So I made a little mirror. See the little mirror? It's reflecting. If I don't have the mirror there, and this is like this, it's really hard to see, especially in sunlight. Now what I did, I took a little piece of polished aluminum, just dropped in a drop of epoxy, and now while I'm riding, picture here I'm riding, and I can see that the camera is on. I can then tell if I've shut it off, and I can tell if the whole camera is off, because I can feel the buttons. Now another thing I did, and this is very unscientific, and it's a thing. I took my stock camera, went for a ride, went up and down Long Meadow, which is a road where you get typical low speed, medium speed, and high speed, go through the gears, whatever. Then I stopped, got to the end of the road, turned around, took the camera out, and mounted it without being in a case. Now I made a mount, and it's on, I think, a couple of videos back on the R1. And in fact, it's the day I lost the battery I was testing this. I lost the camera battery. But on that, what happened was, when the camera's out in the open, it picks up the sound a lot nicer. But the problem is it gets really inconvenient dealing with the buttons and stuff. So I decided, what's the best of both worlds here if I can have it? I went and took this case, took the camera out of the case, and Luciano had done this to his camera, drilled some holes in the back. Now, I haven't gone on a long ride to test it with these holes open, and then put the camera into a box and go home and listen to the sound. But again, that sound issue is really in the eye of the beholder anyway. It's something that you really don't, some people, here's a funny thing too. Some people hear it and some people don't. It's like music. My daughter and son-in-law are professional musicians, and they tell me, don't you hear that? The guitar is out of tune. This is out of tune. That's out. I don't hear anything. Well, it's the same thing with footage. When you're shooting footage, you see mistakes. I sit at the editing bench and I see, I don't like that. I don't like the sunlight coming in. I don't like that shadow. An average person doesn't see that. But anyway, here was the bottom line. I don't want to go on forever here. Here's a stock camera, one with probably an hour of modifying. No money at all. You can do all the modifications. You can actually do this with a piece of car. I used the Cheerios box. In fact, as I went back and looked at some of the footage, it had Cheerios up here. So I was wondering maybe that'd make me, General Mills will sponsor my videos or something. But the stock camera, again, shoots nice footage. It's great. You go for a ride, mount it. I don't like it mounted on my helmet. I do like to make, and it's on plenty of the videos already. I've made probably 100 camera mounts, mounting it everywhere, back, forward, up, down, looking at the chain, looking at the back of my boot. A lot of it comes out funny. A lot of it comes out embarrassing. But then at the end of it, to be honest, this has really been working well. And a lot of the footage I've shot, when I've come home, I've said, wow, that really looks pretty cool for a $14 camera. hope you picked up a couple of good tips off of this video, something you can use to upgrade or increase your enjoyment of shooting video. And if you get something you really want to share, put it out on YouTube and share it with all of us. In the meantime, thanks for watching.